Hello everyone, I'm Gian and this is Wales FM Project Showcase. In this show we talk with founders and projects in the crypto art and NFT space, otherwise known as non-fungible tokens. My guest today is Daniel Podaru. He is the founder, one of the co-founders of the Vive, which is the first general marketplace on Flow. Their vision is to empower a billion people to create, trade, and own the world's most valuable creations. Hello, Daniel. How are you doing?
Hi, Jen. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm okay. I'm at home, so you might be hearing my kids around, but I hope it's okay.
No, yeah, no problems whatsoever. The quality is pretty good. And I really appreciate you taking the time to be here with us. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
So, first thing I would like to know is what's your technical background and how does it come into play in regards to putting forth this project, the Vive Marketplace?
Yeah, so I have a software engineer background. So I work on multiple startups. Some of them based in Paris, France. Some of them based in San Francisco, like United States. And the like we're a small team right now. We're like three. So yeah, so I'm like, of course, everyone has multiple hats right now. So my hats are like blockchain development, uh, backend development, also administration, CEO hat. So other people in the team have the minting hat, have the art curation hat, front end front end development hat. So we try to split the roles between us. We're just getting started, so we're a really
Mm-hmm.
small team right now. So previously I worked on startups. I also worked in the bank, like some of the biggest banks in France. I pitched Bitcoin to some of my colleagues. I also angered my boss by doing that. So I have like how can I say, like a diverse background in crypto and software engineering.
All right, that's great. So, okay, on that note, how did Vive got its? Oh my god. Okay, so here's the thing. Usually we go through a lot of research, but I couldn't research this. How do I pronounce Vive? How do I pronounce the name of the platform? Is that correct?
So the name of the sorry, yeah, the name of the platform first started like we wanted to do something around, Ready Player One. Some people are using lead to have their names, like sometimes you use a number, so it's like
Hmm.
Vive. So yeah, so the original idea was to have something like virtual verifiable goods. After also we
Okay.
had like, yeah, so most of us were like, we like some members of the team are based in US, but we are all like French nationals. So we in France it's something like vive la France, vive everything. So yeah, so we adopted that plus the lead, so it's Vive.
Vive, not Vive.
Yeah, not vive Vive. Yeah, it's
Okay.
rhymes with five, rhymes with five.
Vive. Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the name. I love the name. It just I had to ask because otherwise I would keep going without knowing.
Yeah, thank you.
So how did the project got its start?
So yeah, actually, it started a while back because like, I was trying to do something on Bitcoin, like some. I was trying to build a wallet. So
Mm,
like, yeah, I was trying to build a Bitcoin wallet. So after I discovered how complicated it is to program something on Bitcoin, I looked to Ethereum and I was like, okay, this is cool, but actually, it I saw the CryptoKitties problems and it's like, oh, okay, might not scale. Some people like what other platforms are there, and after that I discovered Flow. So after I discovered Flow, I was interested in going into this community. I started looking into different things and I was like, wow, this is actually really interesting. Like the development language is so cool. This could be probably adopted by a lot of other people who don't have any crypto background. So I was like, yeah. So starting from there, I was looking like what can be done to onboard more people to this new technology. And the first thing that I thought it's like could be a marketplace, right? Because in an ecosystem, if you have a marketplace, more people will come use the marketplace, bring others together. And the idea is really to bring this to bring NFTs to everyone, because I think it's something like it could be bigger than DeFi, right? Everybody around is focusing on DeFi, but I think NFTs are even cooler because most of the things around you right now, like let's say my mug, my keyboard, my screen, are non-fungible, right? So everybody's putting the accent on the fungible tokens, while non-fungibles are most things around us. Yeah. So after starting this, after looking, discovering Flow, I joined the community. I start learning about how to program in Cadence and other things. So after I convinced my two co-founders to join me. We already worked together for 3 or 4 years in the previous company, the previous startup. So they agreed after I pitched in multiple times. Yeah. So after that, we start working on the platform. We collaborate with the Flow team on different aspects. Of course, Flow is new, so most things are not there yet. But that are like mostly the challenges on being early.
Yeah. And that brings me to my next question that I want to know. What were some challenges your team faced during development? Elaborate on the challenges.
Yeah. So as you know, like some people ask me, okay, why are you building on Flow and you are not building on Ethereum, right? It's not like the comparison is like, it's not, maybe not fair, because Ethereum is already like, imagine you have a computer that you got 5 years ago, right? That's Ethereum. You have it, it's there, it's 5 years old. Ecosystem is pretty cool. A lot of applications are there, right? Like on your 5-year-old computer, a lot of applications already work on your computer, right? So
yeah, I don't need to imagine. You're describing my life already, and 5 years is not even that much.
Yeah, but then what's Flow, right? So Flow, you can say that Flow is the computer you get for Christmas, right? It's the new computer that's coming for Christmas. It's brand new. Everything works. It scales. You have no problems, no scaling. But in the same time, because it's so new, most of the apps you already have there, they don't work on your new computer, right? You need to upgrade them. So that means no wallets are there yet, right? Of course, Flow has his own Dapper wallet, but we could not use it right then, right? Of course, they are making progress on all these parts in the same time as us, but us being early, you don't have access to all this rich ecosystem. So
we need to produce them.
Exactly. So we started we have a lot of help from the Flow team, of course. So it's like they helped us a lot about like all questions we had. They answered them. We have a lot of support on different things. So the first challenge was to have a wallet. So we built a wallet inside the marketplace. And after that was how to deploy like the main network. The mainnet just came out, so we had to review our contracts, pass through different steps. So I think the most of the challenges are just being early.
Okay, consequences of being early. Yeah. That makes sense. And I want to know if that computer is coming for Christmas or not. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's already here, right? It's coming for Christmas, and I think if people, like some people are listening and want to build their own project, I strongly suggest considering Flow, because like the grass is still green. I mean, NFTs are just getting started. You could build anything there, right? You can be another marketplace. You could build a wallet. You could build a DeFi project. Like all these projects are like anything you saw on Ethereum right now, and it's not done for Flow. You could just do it, and we would help you integrate with the marketplace and with all other projects right now, because most of them are not here. So you would be the first one building it, right?
Man, you make me want to try. Okay, so here's the thing. You guys want to have free minting, and you guys want to have free transferring, like selling and buying, and that's great. That's really, really great, because everyone know the mess that it is to mint and to handle like trading on Ethereum, because everything is currently very very expensive. So that is being done by having this free minting and transferring being covered by the Vive team, paying basically for the blockchain fees. How do you guys have the intention of controlling the volume of pieces that are minted versus the pieces that are sold to ensure long-term sustainability?
Yeah, so um, right now, like there are multiple aspects to this. One of the aspects is that fees on the Flow blockchain are really like multiple times smaller than the gas fees on Ethereum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, multiple magnitudes, I would say. It's like cheaper than Ethereum, right? So that's that's due to the fact that Flow is a proof of stake blockchain, so you don't need to burn as much electricity to create new blocks.
Mm-hmm.
So that would allow node operators to earn a little bit less, maybe. But regarding the marketplace itself, artists, like, we are curating all art that's minted on the platform. Like, if you're an artist that joined the Vive and you are minting there, you would not be able to mint as many pieces as you would want. Like right now, if you are an artist and you have 100 pieces available to mint, would not mint 100 of them right now, right? You just mint a couple of them, and we would give the chance to other people to mint a couple of them. So in the end, we try to have some agreement between collectors and artists, like to have a balance between how much it's minted and how much is collected, right? So of course, it's like, I think this is most like the approach. I listened to the Nifty Gateway podcast you had earlier. So
Mm-hmm.
I think they have some of the same approach, like where they don't mint as much as they could. So we have a similar approach. We don't mint as much as we can, but
Okay.
in the future we might mint more. But the fees are still small enough, so we could cover for everybody the fees. And I think this is like, while like you could, it's complicated to say to somebody, okay, let's mint something. You would pay $10 or $20 to mint something, and after you would not sell it. Like
Yeah.
it's too complicated for any artist. I mean,
Yeah. It really is. So okay. On that note, so currently Vive is a curated platform. Do you guys have the intention? Do you guys think you guys will change that anytime in the near future?
uh, so right now it's curated. It will stay curated in the future, I think. But in the same time, we don't want to be like an elitist platform where only art that's made by somebody who is really famous it's minted. We want to give the chance to people who are like, to have a balance between people who are already famous, let's say, or they're already established artists, but also to new people who are coming into this space, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we try to find a balance between very popular and less popular, but promising. But in the future, I think the platform will stay curated for the foreseeable future.
No, okay, okay, yeah, because this is where it's hard to balance, right? Because you like it's you guys have some power in regards to the accessibility, and you guys could make a super premium platform, and then less people would be able to access this like cool new marketplace. So yeah, it's hard to strike a balance, I suppose.
Yeah, we don't want to have something very like elitist, right? Like, it's art. People should be able to mint as much as they want, but in the same time, we don't want to flood the marketplace with everybody's art. But in that case, it means nobody would sell anything, nobody would buy anything. It's like too much to handle it at once, right? So
Mhm.
we try to find a balance between the number of pieces we mint, the artists we put there, we promote there, and the newer artists that are trying to launch themselves also.
Okay, okay. So in the Flow blog post, it was stated, quote, all the works made by each creator are minted from their own blockchain smart contract. In doing so, any application in the Flow ecosystem can easily integrate directly with contracts from individual artists instead of the entire marketplace pool. Can you elaborate more on what this entails?
Yeah, so when we mint NFTs, each artist, we create a smart contract for each artist. Like some platforms, what they are doing is like you have only one smart contract, and let's say that NFT 1 comes from artist A, NFT 2 comes from artist B. So all the NFTs are in the same contract, minted by the same contract. Like this, you are putting the platform before the artist, right? You would, on the blockchain, you would see marketplace name and all the NFTs that are minted from that platform, and in the metadata you would see the artist name probably, or different things. We are doing it a bit differently, meaning that each artist would have his own smart contract. So if you are interacting with this smart contract, you would know that, for example, we have one artist, let's say it's Anne. So you would know that all these NFTs are minted by her own contract, right? So if you would want, for example, if you're making a game, or if you're making a virtual world, you could just interact only with Anne if you want. You could just query her own contract and see how many NFTs she minted, and you would don't need to filter through all the marketplace, all the things to know if you only are interested in Anne's work, right? And also in the future, this would mean that right now we have we hold the keys, we hold the private keys to the contracts through hardware security module. So it's something that you cannot take the keys out, but we could add new keys to the contract. So for example, Anne in the future, she could probably just mint from her wallet, right? She doesn't have a wallet right now because there are not so many available. Or maybe in the future she would have her own shop. Like let's say it's like just Anne's art shop. So she could probably just mint. We could remove the contract from the platform, and she could mint from her own shop right from there, right? And we would just index and display it, right?
Oh, okay, very interesting.
Yeah, so it's her own contract. We just created it for her, but it's her contract, right?
And then you have all this mobility basically and opportunity to develop, to build upon it, right?
Yes.
That sounds amazing. So I would love to know, being someone from the space, developing in the space, what are some of your personal predictions for online marketplaces relevant to art and NFTs in 2021?
Yeah, so I think 2021. I mean, after we launched the marketplace, some of the bigger names in the artwork contacted us. So I think the NFTs are maybe gaining mainstream because some, like, I cannot say the names, but more like, let's say that bigger companies that are looking to create tools that you use every day in doing art are looking into this space, right? So I'm assuming more and more marketplaces and tools to create NFTs mixed with art, or for example, tools to create NFTs would come to the market in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So maybe companies doing your favorite design tools are just looking to the NFT space right now.
That sounds promising.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think so it's not really marketplaces, but more, I think the NFTs are reaching mainstream. So just like be ready for 2021, I think.
This is what everyone wants to hear, right? That is happening.
Yeah. I honestly think NFTs would be bigger than DeFi, because that's like, if you go to Twitter, some questions like, oh, NFTs or DeFi. I think it would be like a mix, but I think NFTs would be eventually bigger than DeFi.
Can't we DeFi in NFTs? We fuse them together. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's like, maybe that's what guys you are doing, like by tokenizing on Whale. But I think there are like different things you would see just by thinking what could be done in this. You would probably see, for example, having art on a marketplace, but in the same time, if you have some tokens there that you're not using, could be staked, for example, in the proof of stake network, or having some of the art tokenized and split between different people. For example, let's say you have something like very expensive art. Let's say someday would be some. You already see the B20, right? People are like they are tokenizing the vault containing all those art pieces, right? So I think that's something we'd see more and more, because I'm assuming, just assumption, but I'm assuming more and more, like let's say like museums and other institutions that didn't look until now to NFTs are trying to get into this space. So I would imagine that, for example, if you would want to just, for example, hold some of those pieces, you would probably not want to risk as much of your money to buy it, but you would agree to join forces with other little museums to maybe own a part of all the, right?
Yes.
Exactly. Own a part of the tokens. Right?
It does make sense. It probably will get more and more popular nowadays. You're right.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, what are some of the criteria that mainstream institutions are looking at before considering investing in NFTs?
I don't like, which, like, from my own opinion, I think like you can see right now that people are like bigger institutions are just starting to invest in Bitcoin, because you saw that like funds are starting to invest more and more in Bitcoin, because so I think they are like bigger institutions. They are considered, by their nature, they try to be safe, so they are like the laggers in this space, right? Like, so most of these are lagging into, like, they would probably not just dive into NFTs tomorrow, but I'm assuming like small artists are joining the space, and in the end brands will join the space. I think the more and more institutions would try to buy NFTs.
Okay, that would be great. Okay, so how does Vive differentiate itself from other similar marketplaces?
So right now we're like, the main difference is that there are no gas fees, and of course this was already stated. But one big difference is that we are trying to bring NFTs mainstream, right? It's not just being a marketplace, but also maybe working with brands to allow them to publish NFTs to the marketplace, right? It's not only like, for now we have artists. We are starting to work with some of the creators to bring some games, but I think the bigger adoption, like the adoption, will come at the moment where starting to mint NFTs and let's say it's like a part is a marketplace and the part could be like a publishing platform. So I would say that would be the bigger difference. Maybe some other, I'm not aware, but maybe some other marketplaces are moving in the same direction, trying to bring adoption to NFTs.
So, when NBA Top Shots here?
So NBA Top Shot, the issue with NBA Top Shot is that right now you could only have it in the NBA Top Shot website, and mainly I think that's related to the licensing around NBA, right? So eventually this is being worked on, so you'll probably have it on different platforms, but right now we're mainly working with Dapper Labs to allow other platforms to have NBA Top Shot NFTs. So I don't have an estimated time of like an ETA on that, but soon, I hope.
Okay. Unfortunate. I would love an estimate time.
I think they will eventually come. Right now, I think there's some licensing, because you imagine, can just think how complicated that would be. NBA is there, Yeah, it's like one of the big, like I think it's the second
Mm-hmm.
biggest audience for like after NFL in United States.
Mm-hmm.
So of course there are some bigger contracts and deals that were done to have to allow NBA to be there, right? So to allow a lot of other people to move that content around, there are some different licensing being like different contracts being done, but
Yeah, there
soon.
must.
Yeah, so soon enough, I hope everyone will be able to transfer them anywhere and move around and be able to buy and trade them everywhere. But for now, I think you can do that only on NBA Top Shot website.
It's bureaucracy then. Interesting.
Yeah, but I think more you would probably see this year a lot more than NBA there, right? So I'm hoping that you would like there are a lot of other, let's say, brands and fan bases and coming to Flow. I hope so.
Yep. So, what are some of the features you plan to implement in the future?
Some of the features. So we launched the platform as fast as we could. So some of the features that are already designed and mostly coded, but are not really pushed to the marketplace. Some of them made sense, some of them don't make sense. Like we didn't have a lot of content, so this powerful search is not there. It's coming. Some of them, like all the transaction history and other things, are coming. You exporting NFTs, integrating with different wallets. So all these are coming. They are planned. They're all in the roadmap. I know some people ask for them, like, oh, marketplace, but I cannot see transaction history. Yes, we know, we know. We didn't think it would be so like so many of you would be on the platform so early. We thought we'd have time to build it. So all these features are coming. All what you see in different marketplaces are being built and will eventually be there. But I think some of the more interesting features that we're looking at is maybe like integrating with, let's say, one of the features we discussed about and we're looking into is how could we make it that artists could better display their art. And right now we have a website, but we are thinking what's the next step, right? Like how could that be displayed differently? So we saw a lot of virtual worlds gaining traction, so we're looking into exploring this space too.
Yeah, that sounds great, man. That sounds really, really great.
Yeah.
If you could share with us, this is fine if you can, but we always love some sneak peeks or something. Do you have any hints or tips on some of the collaborations that you guys are going to have in the near future that you could share with us?
So right now we have a collaboration with Ben, that's been announced. So that's one like Ben Mulroy is he's working on a collectible card called collectible cards for the Ben Morse Evolution. So we already shared that. But that's coming later this month.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so that's in the works. It's coming. After we have some deals going, but we cannot because they are still into the negotiation. Like they are still in the works. We cannot reveal them right now, but we are already working with some brands to see, to get some different content that's not been done yet to Vive. But I cannot reveal much because we didn't start we're still in the negotiation phase with them, right? So I cannot share anything right now about that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the projects that I see here as upcoming, they look amazing. They look amazing. So that's enough for sure. Yeah, we recommend everyone to hit the notify, to get this going because this is going to be huge. I can't wait for you guys to manage this.
Yeah, thank you very much. So as we said, we try to bring NFTs to the mainstream, and I think if you want to check out the marketplace, go ahead. If you have questions, can answer questions, anything you have. So thank you very much.
The UFC thing is going to be here as well, right?
Yeah, UFC is being worked on by like UFC is the Dapper project, so they are working on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it will be here. We don't have the exact date, but it's coming. Also, there are like Dr. Seuss and some other games, collectibles are coming to the platform. Of course, I don't have the exact dates on that, but that I could share right now. But they're coming. Yeah, CryptoKitties is coming to Flow also. Most likely through different items, like you might be able to, for example, add, let's say like you have some kitty items, you could be able to have some items for your cat that are minted on. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so right now, how can I say? Right now, cross blockchain is complicated. Like there are some
I
people working
imagine.
on it. Yeah, so right now some people are working on this, but nothing announced, like nothing out there right now. But some of them, like there are teams working exactly on making it possible to transfer assets from one chain to another, like teleport your NFTs from one chain to another.
Mm-hmm. So, how closely do you guys work with the Flow team, with the Dapper team, with the CryptoKitties team, for example? How
Uh,
closely?
so I have like a community lead role in the Flow Discord, and I'm helping our people build applications on Flow. So we are like for our own, like for the Vive project, we already have a lot of support from the Flow team, because as you imagine, the blockchain is new, the language itself, Cadence, is new, so it's being evolved every day. Right? They change different
Mhm.
things, they update things. So of course sometimes we need different questions. We have different questions how to do this and that. So we like they answer to all the questions you have. Maybe you don't have an answer in the next 5 minutes, but somebody will eventually answer the question and you'll be unblocked, right? You don't. I didn't see this type of support in other communities, right? If you build something on whatever blockchains is there, I didn't see exactly like, hey, do this and that, code this and that. Line 20, you have to change variable name because it's bad. But this is the support we got, right? So I think all other people building on this, they receive the same type of support, right? If you build something right now on Flow, you probably have the same type of support, and people are helping you build something. They answer your questions, they try to teach you stuff. You have the docs, like this is like grass is green, just build it.
So it's the equivalent of Vitalik helping me minting some NFTs.
Yeah, exactly. So it's exactly. So it's like the same way as Vitalik would help you mint NFT. Yeah. The flow
Perfect.
team
That
tries, the flow team tries to help you do your project, right? If you have a project, go to the Discord, the flow Discord. Say you have a project, please find a team, and if you had something, if you start working on something, they'll help you get it out. Yeah, somebody built a blockchain explorer maybe in a couple of weeks, and just put it there, and he shipped it, and it's like it works, it's great.
dude, that's crazy. Such a like. No, this is beautiful to imagine. This new space growing fast, everyone helping each other. I really like what you guys have going here. So now I would like to move to the audience questions. I have a few here. Remember, audience, if you have questions, you still have time to ask them, and they would be most appreciated. So, someone asked, how do we fund our Vive accounts? I've tried without success when it was USD, but can we only use Flow now?
Yes, you can only use Flow now. Sorry for this, but if you want, some of the problems are, if you still use USDC, you would still have to pay gas fees, and you would still have, maybe on our side, as there is no cross blockchain platform that it doesn't like that allows us to make a simple withdrawal. You will have to wait for multiple weeks from somebody manually sending you back your USDC, right? So we looked into what can be done, and also we are trying to support the Flow network, because the Flow token was launched on exchanges, and part of making that Flow token being accepted in the United States as not a security would be for other platforms to use it, right? And not use it only for price fluctuation. So I'm referring not to exchanges, right? You would have to use the Flow token to do something else with it, rather than just buying and selling the Flow token itself to gain from the price fluctuation. So by us adopting that Flow token and allowing other people to use it as a means of exchange, we are actually showing to the SEC and to our side, okay, look, this is not a security. You can safely put it on exchanges. It's fine. It's not a security, right? So as much as more platforms are doing the same, you would have it faster in the United States on an exchange, right? So of course, right now, we are aware that in the United States and Canada, you cannot buy the Flow token itself. So we reached to Dapper to see what can be done, and one of the solutions would be to have a stable coin minted on Flow. So as you saw, there are some partners on the Dapper website that are the same people that are minting stable coins. Some of them are like Binance, Circle, so Flaxo, right? So these people might be the people who would bring a stable coin to Flow. There is no date, like there's no date when that will come, because of course we are an independent project, so these things are not revealed to us, but we are asked things. So the answers are like, okay, they are in the works, people are building this, but we don't know when they will be launched, right? So of course, if a stable coin comes to Flow, we would most likely use it, but until that, we cannot, like, there's not much we can do. Otherwise, if you know on NBA Top Shot, when you are withdrawing, you have to wait to multiple, like the withdrawing process is not as fast as you would like it to be, right? It's coming, but it's not as fast. So we are trying to avoid exactly that. We're dedicated to having no fees, right? So the main advantage right now is not having to pay any gas fees. So if you are sending Flow to the platform and getting back, it will be mostly free for you. Of course, USDC, we can support it.
Is it fast?
Oh yeah, it's fast. It's like 30 seconds later you have it.
No, that sounds beautiful. Will it remain fast as it scales?
Yes, I think yes, it will remain fast. They have a different architecture. They have a multi-node architecture. That would be still fast.
Mm-hmm. So, how was your personal experience with Flow so far? What are the benefits and the what are the pros and cons of it?
Yeah, so the Flow, I imagine that you were mentioning, right? Like the Flow network, or let's say that the Cadence development language. So
Yep.
the Flow, yeah. So one of the cons is that the ecosystem is new, right? But in the same time, might be considered an advantage because you are just building something for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
If you're coming early, from our experience, like being early, it's always good. So that's a con. That's okay. There are not so many wallets out there right now. Things are like there are no dexes out there right now. Some people are building them, but they are not there right now. But if you are looking for the development side, I think it's really simple to get started, right? You have an emulator, you download it, you launch it up, you launch your own, you launch the entire chain on your own computer, right? So you can just interact with the chain by writing Cadence code. You can also, if you go to play.onflow.org, they have a playground. You can just write your own Cadence code right there. So you can just click a button, execute it, and it works. Like it's really simple to get started. I mean, if you did previously like web development, you should probably have no problems going to the blockchain. Right? They removed all crypto things that you are afraid of. Let's say that people like let's public key cryptography. All these things are removed for you, so you don't need to bother and worry about that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of the other things that are cool is like if you go to Ethereum and maybe you can see, for example, that your address is derived from your keys, right? So you cannot change your address. But on Flow, you can have multiple addresses. You can have multiple addresses to your own account. Right? So you can have multiple keys to your account, as many as you want, and you can remove the keys. to make your contract, like to make the contract under your account immutable. But you can have different keys, and all these keys have different weights. So for example, if I have a key that it's a full weight, I can control everything from account. But if I have a half a key or a key that has the power 1 out of 1000 and you have the 999 out of 1000, we should combine our keys to have something like a multisig, right? So they made it pretty simple for people to see how many times the key was used, who used the keys, who combined the keys to sign something. So these things are pretty simple to use right now, and like it's readable by anybody. You don't need any PhD to understand what happens behind the scenes. Also, yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So sorry. Go ahead.
No, no. I just don't. I don't. I want you to keep going, but I also just want to see if I understood correctly. Basically, you already have multi-sign wallets by default.
Yeah. It's a multi-sig. Yeah, multi-sig is by default. You can sign. You can combine keys to sign. So your account, you have something like you have an account. They have accounts. So on the chain, you have an address that's like an account. So that could be yours. Under that account, you can have multiple contracts under your same account. The account addresses are really small. It's followed by 16 characters. So under your account, you can have multiple keys, right? You can have lots of keys if you want. So those keys could be either a full weight key, like they call this like a full weight key has a power of 1000. So if you have one key of 1000 weight, you could just sign by yourself. But if you have multiple keys, you can have like one key of 1000 and two keys of 500 each. You have to combine the two 500 keys to arrive to 1000 to be able to sign something, right? To move assets from your account to another account. So for example, if you are doing this with your wife and you have a joint account, it's like a bank account, you would hold the 500 key and your wife would hold the 500 key. You will combine the keys to sign and to move something outside from there. But in the same time, you can do different things. Like for example, an exchange could have a one out of 1000 key and you would have 999. So you would have to, none of you could move the assets, but you would just need to combine the keys to move things from the exchange outside the exchange. Right, so this is really simple, simply done, and you would actually see how many times each keys was used. Like you can see, like each time you use a key, there is a number that's incremented. So you would see, okay, I use these keys 20 times. So if somebody uses your key, you would see that, oh, somebody used my key. Yeah, it's really simple to understand where your keys was used. Like, okay, somebody stole my key. What happens? Like, it's really simple to understand what goes behind the scenes than on other more complex, let's say, early blockchains.
That's a beautiful feature. There must be so much stuff you can do with that. That's crazy. Like for collective ownership, for DAOs and stuff. That is.
Yeah. So some other cool things that they have is resources. So for example, on Flow, one NFT can hold other NFTs, right? So you could have, for example, your cat NFT could have her glasses NFT, her shoes NFTs, and all these NFTs can be, for example, hold together in another NFT, right? So
really?
So let's say you have, for example, an NBA Top Shot moment, right? So you could create a project on top of that would have something like a frame, right? You would have an NFT that's an NBA Top Shot frame. You could put, for example, the NBA Top Shot moment in the frame. Think of it as like a normal frame where you put a photo inside, right? So the NFT, that's the frame. You could maybe build an application that would allow, let's say, some LeBron to sign your NFT on top of it, right? So in this time, you'd have 3 NFTs, right? You have a box that has 3 NFTs. One is the moment, one is the signature, and one is the frame. So you could just make a package that's a 4th NFT and you would sell that together, right? So all this makes so this is these are things that were never possible on other chains, right? And this is simple, this is really simple to do. Some other things that are interesting is imagine if you have, for example, you have one artist who publishes his NFT, In the same time, you want other people to allow, you want to allow other people to hold the NFT, but if they don't pay a fee, you would want to get the NFT back to the artist because people holding the NFT didn't pay the fee that you wanted, right? So you could just have two NFTs. One is the box, one is the NFT. You put the NFT in the box and you give the box to somebody, right? After you can calculate if the fees were paid, if the fees were not paid in time, you could just break the box, and in the smart contract you would make something that a rule that says when the box is broken, the NFT would go back to the original sender. So these are this means so these are pretty interesting things that were not possible before, and they are waiting to be explored.
Damn, that's insane. So basically, you can have NFT renting and stuff easily implemented.
Yeah, so you can have all this. Yeah, exactly.
Can you have something similar to a sync art, something that looks at some other metric and changes its own appearance based off it?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you can build anything. Yeah, you can build multiple layers. You can hold NFT. You could have different layers could be their own NFT. So you would probably, for example, multiple people combining their NFTs to create a bigger NFT, like a master NFT, right? So I would have my layer, you would have your layer, some would have their own layers, and each layer is a different NFT. So we would combine all this together in an NFT, put some rulings inside that would say, okay, my NFT moves, might change the color and things. So that's totally be easily doable on Flow.
Dude, you blew my mind completely.
Yeah, it's not me, it's the Flow team. I'm just
I mean, I have flow, and I feel ashamed that I didn't did more research to find out all of this.
yeah,
But
this is the same as when we discussed. This is the future. You should probably get on board, build anything you can here. It's this is going to be great. So this is why I'm thinking this is mainstream, right? You don't even know right now, but this is going mainstream, right? A lot of people just when you talk to them and explain more than just oh, you can trade the coin, they're like, okay, this is awesome. So
no, it's crazy because all those features, those are the features that you were to think oh, uh, kind of possible in Ethereum, but not practical. Because the gas costs. Because you kind of could find loopholes to produce, but never easily. So for me for you to say no, you could easily do that. It's already possible and stuff. It makes me very very happy about the project overall.
yeah, I think it's if you're a developer your own project, I think you should definitely look at Flow and consider building stuff on Flow, because most of you saw already NBA Top Shot is there, and we are just getting started with that. So you could imagine more and more cooler things coming, right? So if you want to build something on top of NBA Top Shot or on top of other projects coming to Flow, you should probably get started and look into what you could do to integrate with that, right? You can just I'm just saying the example with having a moment and signing a moment is basic. You could do a lot more things than that, right? Just yeah. So and also it's the same. This is why we say you have artists. You could maybe build different things integrating with the artist's contract, right? It's a lot of things that are of course you don't have all the ideas right now, right? But we are just thinking not future proofing, but in some way okay, things are possible. Let's leave the door open for others to build something on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love to hear. So, will we have to do KYC after X amount of money going through the store?
No. So for now, this is why you don't have credit cards in fiat right now, because we looked into using Stripe or using other platforms, but for that would imply that each artist would need to do KYC with Stripe to be able to have their funds there. So we decided against this for now. We saw how complicated it is to go to an exchange, upload your passport and all these things. So we try to keep it simple for now. So for now, it's no KYC. We see in the future if somebody tries to impose it on us, but sorry, for now it's no KYC, and we don't. In the foreseeable future, we don't see any KYC.
Okay. So, for other developers, what would you recommend to watch out for you for using the Flow blockchain? I think you touched a bunch of aspects there, but if you have something else to add.
So I think the simpler way to get started, if you go to docs.onflow.org, you have all the docs there. You would have also, if you go there, you would also have the cadence the cadence language explained. Like, the syntax is pretty simple. It's nothing. If you already did it, or some Kotlin or some Go or some Ruby, you'd probably understand it. It's not nothing really complicated about it. So they have some new things, resources. Like you could move resources around. On NFTs, it can only have one owner at a time. So this is they invented these things. Same Libra from Facebook. They have their own language called Move, so they have a similar concept. But I think it's like Dapper Labs invented. So that's a little bit like new. But apart from that, most of the things are simple to grasp. Just like read the docs and build your thing. And if you want to integrate with the marketplace, Discord, hey, I want to integrate this. So we see what we can work together.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So, how can a beginning creator start selling his works on Vive?
Yeah. So first, we have as you said, we're a really small team. The only way to send your artists, we have a vive.com/create. It's a form there. If you upload your art, somebody will get back to you. If getting started, it's different. Like before, getting started doesn't mean bad art or not quality art, or it's just like you're getting started, of course, because we have there are people who are trying to say, okay, mix two photos together on application and it's art, right? The end after I'm gonna sell it for X thousands because it's my art. So that's totally different from somebody who is doing art for a couple of years and he's trying to, like, it's an artist, right? So we are trying to in the same time to not be like elitist, but in the same time not to publish anything that, like, my kid draws on a piece of paper, okay, it's art, put it, I want 1,000 for it, right? This is complicated to sell, and it's also, we don't want to dilute all other artists on the platform with things that are not really art, right? Like somebody try to take advantage of, oh, we're NFTs, yeah, great, let's sell it. Okay, let's sell it because it sells so fast. Yeah, I'm gonna be a millionaire, right? It's not the approach you want to have, right? So it's, if you are just getting started, it's fine. Send something. If something is really interesting, we'll try to publish it, try to get back to you, try to say, okay, this would be better like that. So we try to guide, like offer some guidance on different aspects, right? So you have to balance between very popular artists and not so popular artists, people getting started, find the balance between that.
It will never get easy, but hopefully you guys will be able to sort it out in the future and have a specific process, right? As the team grows, I suppose.
Yeah, for now it's really manual, but in the future might be automated.
Yeah. So, does Vive sponsor particularly talented artists in any way?
Sponsoring, meaning it depends what you understand by sponsoring. Right now, there are like transaction fees. Like you don't have to pay anything. Send out, we mint it, and you would take a small cut of anything that sells to be able to cover the platform fees. But apart from that, you would make like anything that sells. Most of it is yours, right? But we do not. Right now, we don't have the budget to, for example, pay artists to create something especially for Vive. It's mostly works the other way around. You create something that's interesting and has value, and we try to sell it, and you would make the profit that way. But it's free to like, if you don't sell anything, it's free. It's nothing to pay, right? So there is no cost apart from your work.
Yeah. That is a sponsor in some manner. Yeah, for sure. So okay, this is a also a question from the audience, but I think it will give us a good closing thought. Not that you haven't shared enough reasons to be excited, but this person wants to know specifically about you. What excites you about the project?
So what excites me the most is like last week we moved from USDC to, so for the past weeks I I slept about 4 hours a night doing USDC transactions and paying artists that already made some benefits there. So I think the biggest joy was, even that I didn't have much sleep, I think was that we were seeing that we built something that some people are using and find valuable, and artists are actually gaining, like making some money from their work. Then we
Mm-hmm.
had like we helped them do that, right? So we built something that some people are using, right? This is not our first project. We had like countless project ideas before, like most people, right? We did different things. So this is the first that we think that we have something that a lot of people find valuable. So this, I think, is the most important thing of every project. And the second thing is like we're trying to bring NFTs mainstream, and really think that right now most people, like some people think that, oh, NFTs, okay, what is it? It's an image, it's a video. But I think in the future, and as soon as some of the bigger players would start to launch, like Apple, for example, and other, like would start to launch like virtual, like augmented reality headsets, you would see much more interest in NFTs. So that virtual thing, most of the elements and like objects in those virtual worlds would be NFTs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I think that's like being early in this domain, I think, or in this market. It's really a good advantage. So if you have a project, build it, we integrate with you. Yeah.
That's perfect, man. That's perfect. Just want to say there is a guy here who said, not much of a question, but I always like to see projects that make this space more accessible. So thank you. And yeah, I just wanted to let you know, I think what you guys are doing here is very admirable, and I wish you all succeed. I will definitely I will definitely be participating and looking forward to all those new projects that are coming. And thank you so very much for taking the time to be here with us. It was a pleasure to hear,
Yeah,
honestly.
thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for having me, and thank you for everybody who spent time listening. And if you want to build something on Flow, we try to help you. If you want to build something in the marketplace, go ahead. Right. So as much as we can. So thanks so much.
Yeah, definitely reach out to him, guys. This was amazing. I will be dropping the links. Okay, so thank you, Daniel, again, and have an amazing end of the day. All right, see ya. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.